Hey, Fast Fellas. Today's episode, we're actually going to do three main things. These are our three goals. First, we're going to eventually build the Oxford University. Cannot place it there, unfortunately, but we can place it over in that position here, which means we will eventually be getting feudalism, getting these builders up and running, chopping this, and then placing a few nice little farms here. So our goal here is actually to eventually, within the next turn, get engineering, so that way we can actually get some population growth. In terms of civics that we could go for, I think the first matter of business is actually going to be focusing on some of these other aspects of growth. So our setup here that we're going to go towards is actually going to specifically start off with getting diplomatic service, so that way we can make another spy. Because again, as a spy civ, we really need to kind of play into that.
Sailor
There's, okay, there's shipbuilding. Perfect. So what we want to do is eventually get to where we can actually just quickly buy a scout and have that scout traverse around the different parts of the world. It's just going to make it easier for us to kind of know what's around us, and also just going to give us time to really develop for that. We do want to make sure we can try to get cartography, just so that way we can navigate oceanic tiles, so we can go directly across. We do want to meet other continents if we can. First thing we want to do is we are actually going to go here with this unit and keep this one nice and topped up in health. Let's kill that one off there. And that'll give us a good position to work off of. We are working as some nice campus research grants, so we of course are eventually going to get this one or the next one after that. We want to make sure that we are getting a decent bit of, I would say, great engineer points, so we do want to try to get that going a little faster. Dude, that's annoying. So we couldn't have gotten it no matter what we did. You know, that's fine. Unfortunately, that just wasn't meant to be. Getting these boosted is good. 3 technologies from the Renaissance or Industrial era, so mass production, we need that. Rifling, eventually going to need that. And industrialization, that's super huge. We're not going to have a couple workshops up for a long time, so that actually is massive. We can see here, that just boosted 2 things we needed, and that's very, very good for us. Okay, we got some good use out of that. I'm very happy. That works really well. Not only that, but also means we have ourselves a nice builder that we can work with here. And we have some positions we can eventually set up towards. Okay, so we're at 7 population, so the next thing we want to do is actually go ahead and transfer ownership of that tile here and immediately go into building this sooner. The earlier we can build that, the better. And now we can actually prioritize that. That'll actually help us as well. We're 8 turns away from scientific theory. We want to essentially be in a position where we can get that up and running and utilize that additional tempo, because if we can get a couple of these industrial zones going, if we can then essentially utilize those 2 industrial zones specifically to help get through this as fast as possible, that'll give us a lot of tempo that we otherwise would not have had. That being said, we should actually go ahead and now take this unit over. And what we could do is eventually get to a placement here, and we'll just do a quick chop for that. And that'll help give us a lot of tempo as well, because then by getting that earlier, by the time we get this, we can actually be in a better position. So let's do that. Yeah, so let's just cancel that. And then I kind of want to move him to a better place. We already know what's around here, and her stuff isn't too good. Metal casting. Okay, so we can probably go over here. Now that we have this done, let's actually just quickly get started on industrial zone logistics. Same thing with this city. So essentially we could just prioritize that growth output. Let's go for a workshop in this city. That'll get done a little faster, and that actually is going to give us a nice little bit of tempo for that. In the meantime, what we want to do is take a look and see where we can actually boost things up in a better way. I would say, honestly, right now, just getting extra production could be super useful, so we can go for that. Just extra points of production will overlay in the long term, so there's value there.
Claims that cannot be tested.
Awesome. So, as that is going to be improved much faster, that'll also give us access to that. Let's go ahead and gain sources just to be safe. And there. So now what we could do is actually immediately go for industrialization. And later on, once our science is really developed, we can go back and build some crossbowmen just to take out that other stuff. Plus, it'll give us access to the Crouching Tiger as well. Let's just not take any risks here. I would really want to make sure we avoid risks. You don't really need this one. This one's fine. But that one that we just got with 2 charges, that is 100% what we need. 430 production towards 1240, that's massive. That's cutting a third of the cost down in production, so that's very good for us.
In diplomacy, there are
Diplomatic service, and also means we have access to another spy, so that is a-okay for us. Let's go ahead, heal up for now, and I would say the next priority is actually going to be potentially, say very specifically potentially, is we can go for another upgrade here with Zoning Commissioner. So as I mentioned before, that was something I wanted to work on. Now that we have that opportunity, let's do that. In this place, we're actually going to go ahead and get started on a nice little theater square there. That'll give us a little bit of tempo. And we can go back and do the audience chamber at another time. Okay, we're 2 turns away from mass production, and we are 5 turns away after that from getting industrialization. That's going to be huge because we can place a really good factory down. And then immediately because of that, the production bonus here is just being extended to all city centers within 6 tiles. And then what we can do is once we have another city down, we can just simply buy a galley and utilize that tempo. Oh, awesome. So we got university done. Good. So we're actually staying competitive here. Good, 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 good. And in this case, what we could do is go for that. And honestly, what we could do is go for chemistry afterwards. I think it's just more of a priority that we get our production up and running as well. At least just that way we have it in the long term. Let's go ahead and go to 6 here. And then what we do is actually go back with this governor and go to Mexico City, and we could take suzerainty of that. That way we have control of it. We can maintain suzerainty of this, and we can gain some good value from it in the long term. That's not ideal. Are you actually kidding me, dude? Are you serious? The RNG for that is awesome. We're gonna have to spend some time repairing all of this. Amazing RNG, dude. Wow. Talk about the best possible thing to spawn there is literally what can destroy the tempo that I've just worked so hard for. Game, why you gotta do this? Why you gotta do this? We only have another 9 turns until the end of this era, so we essentially want to try to get as much of this built as fast as possible. So that way we could just utilize that tempo as a nice means for us to get things going just a little faster. Now, let's actually swap this. That's actually going to give us a nice amount of tempo. Let's see, that's down to 12 turns. Good, so that's useful. This will eventually be used. We don't want to use it right away now that I think about it, because I need that a little bit of extra production in the industrial zone. So we have consulate done. Factory is going to take 12 turns. A factory here will take 7. We're actually at 50 production here, so that's really good. So let's actually have a quick look here and see how much a factory is. 1,300 and, ooh, a power plant is 1,200. Okay, so if we were able to get a power plant up and running, that would give us a nice option. I'm not seeing any coal nearby, so we're not going to be gaining value from that. Oh, I just realized that that mine that I placed down just got completely obliterated. Thanks, Dust Storm. Oh, Germany. I'd love to sample your hospitality, good sir.
Blast. Build.
Game spawn Niter. Hold on, let's just take a look. Okay, so there's some over here. Oh, dude. Oh. Alright. We're actually just going to need to go ahead and head over here. That way we can take that. That's a bummer. That happens to be taken. I was like, why can't I go there? Oh, there's another bit of niter there, too.
The clever men at Oxford
We
know all
have
there is to be
Oxford.
known, but they none of them
Oh.
know one half as much.
We have it. Light economics.
It is arguable whether the
Oh,
human,
oh,
apart from the
boy.
sanitation.
So that's a nice thing. So let's make our way to land. And let's just bring this unit to safety. I'm not trying to die here. I should have just taken that. That literally, that was a big mistake. I'm just going to have to roll with it. Just going to have to roll with it. Honestly, I don't want the one for chemistry because we already have it. So that's just essentially going to be redundant. So honestly, I'm just going to skip that and I hope we get a better one afterwards. There's another, oh, there's another civ right there. Okay. Ah, see, it's a good thing I didn't go for the up and down. I would have wasted time. Now we need to go to Handan so we can place that to our capital and gain some nice value there. And that could be really good, actually. Let's go here. And let's see, James Young, we're going to go here. Refining, good. Radio, also good. And oil. Oh man, that's perfect. So we're actually getting free oil. And holy smokes. Well, it looks like we're not placing that there. We have to get that. Well, I know what I'm beelining towards. We're going to place a couple of these down, and that'll help this. Christina, of course. Really? You really want this? Do you really, really want this? Well, let's go ahead forward settle here. Huh. Cool. Ebbs and flows. Life has ebbs and flows. I don't know how much combat strength this city has, but I could actually utilize this in our favor. Let's, you know what? I'm going to start bringing this over. This is going to be fantastic for us. Let's just go ahead and do that at this point. That is not what I was trying to move to, but okay. I was trying to go here. Thank you, game. And who did we... Robert the Bruce. Okay, so we met Scotland. There we go. That's fine. So now we can go ahead, buy a bombard, and that'll help take this city down a little faster as well, because it's just ancient walls. So if we can really get that fixed up and taken down, that'll just make things a little easier for us. Let's see if this passes.
An enormous and lofty column of flame.
Somewhere. Welcome. We met Teddy, and let's see here. Okay, so there was another Civ there. Okay, I figured there was. Ooh, who's that? Auckland. That's actually not bad. Shallow water tiles you own provide 1 production, additional +1 when you reach industrial era. Well, we are in the Renaissance era, so we are actually going to go into the industrial era next turn, or rather, next era, rather, sorry. And we have the Golden Age. Okay, dude, this is actually really good. This is going to pan out to be really nasty, this next era. I think we might have an insanely good industrial age. Honestly, just continue doing as much damage as we can. That unit will get hit, but we should be able to survive. And if I can try to get this city and get a really, really good set of position here. We'll do this. And I want to see if this is going to destroy the city or it's going to kill my unit. Oh, sweet. Okay, this works. This works. Yes. And we don't have to worry about loyalty in this city. Oh, that's even better, dude. Oh, that could be a problem. We need to get walls up and running in this city ASAP. Catherine and Teddy have heroic ages. I have a golden age, so this is huge. This is absolutely huge. So what we want to do, districts production. That's super nice. Actually, it's very good. Yeah, let's go.
I conclude then this point.
There we go. So that's going to give us some arrow score. Let's actually put feudal contract back. Actually, we can just go ahead and get rid of that. We're not really planning on making too many more units. We can just simply buy units. I think that's going to be more beneficial for us at this stage. Whittling away at the health there. And the end of the utility for this particular infantry is going to essentially be by the time we take this city. And once we take that city, we'll be in a good spot. Because again, we'll have a nice campus there. Have additional faith output that we can get eventually, can start buying great people in the long term if we need to. Also, just having a nice theater square there is definitely useful. And control of this area is really good. So that's actually going to help us because it'll eventually start converting some of these cities in our favor. That's really what we want to be doing. So the previous episode, in episode 1, our goal was to essentially start doing what we are talking about, essentially actually acting now. This is really good. So it turned out that the war happened a little earlier than I was predicting. I was thinking maybe 170 to 190, but it did happen about 10 turns early, so that's not too bad. That being said, though, we were talking about in the first episode that we wanted to eventually start gaining control of this and even consider a timing attack. It's funny how it turns out that we didn't even need to necessarily just commit too much to a timing attack. It just happened to naturally happen this way because she declared war. If Sweden didn't declare war, this would not have happened the way it did. And honestly, this city would have most likely gotten better walls and none of that attack would have happened. So this worked really, really well in our favor. That being said, I've got a video in the top left part of the screen. I want to thank you so much for all of your support. You guys have been phenomenal, and I want to thank you so much for watching these videos. This has been a real gem to create these videos for you guys. And again, I just want to thank you so much for your support. I'd like to ask you to please feel free to subscribe, hit that like button. Thank you guys for watching. SpeeDMan out.